With us entering the top 25k at the end of Matchday 4, we're now going to run through my team selection for Matchday 5 in today's video, also talk about my transfer targets, and give you all the key data you need to make the best decisions ahead of the deadline. Before we dive into today's video, if you do enjoy any of the content that you see on the channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you've got any questions about your team, get them in the comments, as I will try to answer as many as I possibly can. Obviously, we're going to start off with our Matchday 4 kind of squad. Look through the points, look through the kind of rank, as you can see in the top right now. We have entered that top 25k, and I'm very, very happy with how this team is doing. Obviously, I don't have any chips. I kind of went early with my chips. We played the wild card in Matchday 2. We played the Limitless in Matchday 3. Luckily, only 2 players need to be replaced out of this side. Obviously, Mark Gahey is suspended and Sabitzer obviously went out of the tournament. Everybody else is progressed into the next round. So that puts us in a very, very nice position with our free transfers. And I feel there's not like kind of a lot of work this team needs to do. Yes, there's 1 or 2 positions, but overall, it's pretty steady. It's pretty comfortable. As you can see, a lot of players did perform for us this week. Obviously, clean sheet-wise was very, very good from Hernandez and Ake. Obviously, Costa with his penalty heroics as well. Massive from him. Mark Gahey with an assist. Absolutely loved that. Originally, on the first day, we didn't have the captain on Musiala. We did have it on Ilkay Gundogan. That one didn't work out, but we didn't have to wait too long for a captain to return. And it was Nico Williams who was our captain for the second match day. And it just paid dividends. I wasn't ever going to switch away from that 10 points. I feel anything above 9 to 10 probably worth sticking with. So we have stuck with the old 10 points there. So very happy from him. Very unfortunate not to go and pick up the Man of the Match award as well. And then as you can see up front as well, yesterday we did have Cody Gakpo, who did flourish in front of goal, so I'm very, very happy to have him. It means 1 less transfer as well, because a lot of people are going to look to bring him in this week. We've already got him, well, I've already got him, so I'm very, very happy about that. So I think the team, like I said, is in a really, really good position, and I think we had an amazing match day 4, and hopefully we can continue that into Matchday 5, Matchday 6, and obviously the final as well. And hopefully, maybe, get around a top 10k finish. I definitely think it's in the cards. I think, we've got to get our player picks right. We've got to get that captaincy right as well. But it's definitely in the kind of realms of our ability now as well. So hopefully, we can kick on and continue this good start to the game. Moving on to the data section of today's team selection. Obviously, this data, as you can kind of basically see if you've been around the channel for a while, has helped support, a lot of decisions that I've made. It's definitely helped, I feel, potentially get me this rank. So if you do want to go and follow the guy who's created both these graphics, Rob T FPL, an absolute legend. All the link to his work and his Twitter will be in the description, as well as Elvenify as well. They're another one that I've been using as well. So again, link to all their amazing work will be in the description if you do want to go and use that. So I feel, for me, the position I'm in, and maybe that you're in, you might not have any chips left. That's currently my position, and obviously I'm going to kind of talk through that in my personal experience. I might delve into a little bit of a wild card, but at the same time, I kind of just want to focus on my team. If you're looking for wild card stuff, obviously I did make a video yesterday, so go and check that out if you do need any help with that one. But let's start off with the top graphic. It is the projected quarterfinal winners, and obviously with us not having a wild card, our transfers have probably got to be around teams that are looking to kind of progress to the latter stages of this tournament, with us only having 4 transfers next round as well. I would like to try and keep around the 14 to 15 man squad ticking, just so we've got that bench cover if we do need to make any substitutions, because I feel they have been vital across the course of this game. But obviously we are going to see a dwindling bench as the tournament does progress, with us not having any chips left. But for me personally, the 2 teams I'm going to be looking to target with my transfers are going to be Netherlands and the English sides as well. They have the highest probability of progressing to the next round of these tournaments. I think even though France are close to England in terms of progression, I do feel like Portugal will put up a little bit of a fight in that one, and that game could very much go easy either way. France obviously have been very good in kind of creating opportunities and creating the XG, but just haven't been able to put any goals away so far. So a little bit disappointed from them, and I don't think I'm going to look to bring in any Portugal or any more France players. Same goes with Germany and Spain as well. I feel we've got a good amount, and the way kind of that unpredictable that game is going to be, I definitely think I don't want to have any more players from those 2 sides. So for me personally, I am going to be looking at the Netherlands and England players to bring in. Down the bottom is the projected goals scored and the clean sheet odds for this match day. As you can see, Netherlands, with them facing off against Turkey, they have 1.95 predicted goals. Turkey, arguably the worst team left in the competition, kind of on FIFA ranking and kind of tournament performances so far. So definitely, you know, we want to be looking to kind of maybe get a triple up, maybe even a quad up of the Netherlands players as well, with them having good progression odds and the chance of a clean sheet and scoring plenty goals as well. As you can see, it's quite kind of compact with everybody else, to be honest. Portugal, probably the only team I wouldn't be too keen on in terms of attackers from the big sides. Obviously Switzerland and Turkey, I feel they're pretty self-explanatory as well. Moving on to the clean sheet side, obviously England, Netherlands, they're the top two as well, with them being on the other side of the draw, so definitely worth loading up on those two defences as well. France have quite a high probability, which is quite surprising. I think obviously if you are on a wild card, the goalkeeper option, probably the best one for this week as well. I went with Costa in my wildcard draft video, but maybe the France goalkeeper could be the pick to go for with better clean sheet odds next week. As you can see, probably teams to avoid is that Spain-Germany game is so unpredictable, so hard to call, that even the odds kind of don't really know which way to kind of sway it one way or the other. They've both got a match for projected goals. They've both got a match for clean sheet odds as well. So I don't think you can kind of go too heavy on either of these sides, to be honest, because the data just doesn't know how to call it. And I definitely think with Netherlands and England on paper having easier fixtures, probably worth taking a look at their assets a little bit more. But let me know what you think about this data down in the comments section, and let's move on to my team selection for Matchday 5. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you have all been waiting for. It is my team selection ahead of Matchday 5. Let's start off with our goalkeepers first. Obviously, I'm not going to make any changes in this department. We've got a goalkeeper playing on either day. I feel if you are on a wild card, or maybe with your transfers this week, potentially looking at goalkeepers, make sure you have one on either side of the draw, because they do play on different days. Obviously, the France, Portugal, Germany and Spain games, they play on Tuesday, and then Friday night, sorry, and then England and Netherlands play on the other side, so they play on Saturday as well. So just, I'd say, get a goalkeeper from each side. Thankfully, we did a little bit of kind of forward planning with this one. Both Costa and Pickford did progress to the next round, so we're in a very healthy position with that one as well. So, you know, I don't think there's any kind of point in taking out Costa. Yes, the clean sheet odds weren't amazing, but for me, we've got Jordan Pickford. He should realistically probably be the #1 goalkeeper for this week. Obviously, with England having kind of high progression odds and high clean sheet odds as well, he probably will be our kind of starting goalkeeper. But Costa plays first. He'll go in. If not, we do have Jordan Pickford as the backup. Right, let's move on into our backline, and this is where we're going to make our first change. So let's talk you through the players that will be remaining with the side. Obviously, Kyle Walker, England again, very, very high clean sheet odds, so we're going to have to keep him. Obviously, we've lost Mark Gahey, which is a bit of a blow, with England again having those good kind of predicted clean sheet odds as well. And with England being one of the best teams for XG conceded so far at the tournament, I definitely think, you know, maybe Mark Gahey might find his way back into this team for the semi-finals, or even if the finals, if England do progress that far as well. So very happy to have Kyle Walker. I don't think he looked exceptional, but it gives us an England defender going into these round of 16, quarter-final games. Cucurella, again, I really don't know how to call that Spain-Germany one, but I definitely think I'm not going to take him out of my side. Really good player for ball recoveries as well. And with this game being kind of, I imagine, quite cagey, a little bit tight, maybe there might be some goals, but I feel, you know, the defensive players will have to step up to the mark, get plenty of ball recoveries, and we're happy to have Cucurella for that reason. Moving on to our next one, it is going to be Theo Hernandez. Interestingly, France had higher progression rates than Portugal. Clean sheet odds as well weren't overly kind of bad, and I mentioned this in the wildcard video about why I would be quite happy picking Theo Hernandez. Obviously, down that right hand side, kind of defensively for Portugal, they will have João Cancelo, and that I think is an area where they definitely could be exploited. He, as we've known from Premier League, and if you've watched any La Liga, is a little bit susceptible in terms of his kind of defensive ability. So I definitely feel that is an area that France could attack with Theo Hernandez and obviously Kylian Mbappe further up the field, and that could be quite beneficiary for myself and my team. Moving on to the first transfer in, it is going to be Van Dijk, obviously with the Dutch having high chances of progression to the next round and high probability of a clean sheet. We are going to go for that double up with Nathan Ake as well. Obviously, I think, you know, Van Dijk is the best defensive player for Netherlands. Obviously, his ball recovery numbers are okay. They're not like amazing, but they're pretty decent. He's also a massive threat from set pieces. We saw that in the Romania game, where he hit the post as well. So I think that is the reason that I've selected him. Very, very happy to have him. Again, I feel he's got that man of the match potential in him as well with the ball recoveries. And if he could grab up with a goal from a set piece, which Holland looked really, really smart at the other night against Romania, I do feel if they play like that and continue to develop their set piece strategies, they could be a little bit of kind of, a very potent team from those set plays. And Van Dijk, you would imagine, is the #1 target from them as well. Nathan Ake across the group stage had really good kind of expected goal involvement, so we're going with him again. Obviously, I don't feel there's any need to potentially take him out. Ball recovery numbers are pretty poor, but with him playing left back, he might be able to get forward, maybe picks up an assist or two for us. Let's hope, but I think we're more kind of banking on that double Dutch clean sheet for this quarter-final game. Right, let's move on into our midfield. We're going to start off with İlkay Gündoğan. He isn't going to be the captain this week. I've kind of just left it on him because I'm not entirely sure which player I really want to back. As you can see, we've got kind of a few French, we've got a few Germans kind of kicking around. It might be Musiala, it might be Nico Williams, it might be one of the other strikers we've got in the lineup as well, but at the moment, we've just left it on Gündoğan. I don't think he's going to be the captain come the deadline. Obviously, there will be a deadline stream on Friday, so get yourself along to that to see who my captain will be. So we've sticking with Gundo for now. I don't think he's worth the transfer out, to be honest. I feel there's better moves we can make, and we kind of are making them already. So I definitely feel he will stick around for another week, and if Germany do progress, maybe at that point we maybe look to move him on, maybe get another midfielder in. But for now, I'm happy with him. Obviously, he came off early in the last game, which wasn't ideal, but let's wait and see what he can produce in this next round. Bruno Fernandes, I feel he is obviously one of Portugal's key men. He's a 90-minute man, isn't he? Again, doesn't really feel like it's necessary to take him out, despite Portugal looking a little bit frail in front of goal against Slovakia. But again, it just feels like it's not worth taking him out. Nico Williams, off the back of his 10-pointer, obviously picking up his first goal and assist of the tournament as well. I think he could have a really, really good game. And the thing I like about him over Yamal, maybe if you're on the wild card this week, is the fact that he is down as a midfielder. That means he gets extra points for just doing the basics, obviously goals, assists. Also means he has that potential of getting that extra point for a clean sheet as well. So if you are thinking about maybe giving him the armband, then that obviously gives him a massive factor over Yamal. It's not that I don't like Yamal, I just think those factors into play, and with the quality of forwards in the game as well, I think obviously Williams does just outshine him on that one. Moving on to our next midfielder, it is going to be Musiala, obviously one of the tournament's top goal scorers. He realistically might be the captain going into this week. I think Germany offensively have looked very, very good, very, very tidy. So, it could be an interesting one. Obviously, he'll be going up against Cucurella, which could be a very interesting battle for kind of ball recoveries and stuff like that, with me having him in. I think Cucurella defensively as well has looked quite impressive at this tournament, which is surprising considering how poor a season he had at Chelsea this season. But again, Musiala could be in the bracket for captaincy this week as well. Moving on to our final midfielder, it is going to be Xavi Simons. Again, he's another player we're going to bring in this week. Obviously picked up an assist against Romania. I wasn't overly impressed. I feel like he could definitely shoot more, but it gives us another Dutch player with their high chance of progression as well, with them being the favourites to get the most goals this week. That is why I've made this transfer in. He's obviously coming in for Sabitzer, who did obviously depart the tournament with Austria last night. So that is why we've gone for Xavi Simons in this side. Again, gives us a player in a very, very fluid looking attack as well. And I think, a lot of the other content creators as well are potentially eyeing him up as the transfer to make in midfield, with the Dutch, like I said, having high chance of progression. Obviously, us having no chips available, we need to be kind of targeting these teams as well. So we're going to go for Xavi Simons. Moving on to our front line, we're going to start off with Harry Kane. He definitely feels like he could be the captain for the other day as well. England in front of goal have been interesting, haven't they, this tournament? Not really created too much in terms of expected goals. Harry Kane hasn't been at the levels we've seen from him for a number of years as well. Even in an England shirt, by his standards, this is a very, very disappointing campaign. But despite all that, he has managed to pick up 2 goals so far this tournament and still on for that golden boot. The forwards have been a little bit disappointing, especially the premium ones. But again, with England having a high chance of progression, making it all the way to potentially the final or, semi-final at least, definitely feels like he should be a player that we go and get in the side. I've replaced him for Cristiano Ronaldo. Again, could be seen as a little bit of an interesting move, but for me, Ronaldo, he's having a lot of shots, but it feels like he's kind of dragging this team down with him. You know, I think maybe it's time that he just hangs up the boots and moves away from international football and just calls it a day. But we're going with Harry Kane over him. Harry Kane's data has been okay-ish, but like I said, he's not been at the same levels. But it does look like there's going to be a switch in England's system. So this could be quite beneficiary for that England attack. I hope, as an England fan as well, that could be the case. Moving on to our next forward, it is going to be Kylian Mbappe, arguably one of the most unlucky players at this tournament so far. France obviously yet to score a goal in open play, but their data has been absolutely phenomenal. The highest XG created amongst all teams in this tournament, and Kylian Mbappe is up there as well as one of the highest kind of XG players yet to score in open play as well. So a lot of data kind of supporting the France, especially from the forward arguments. As we saw in the last section as well, they are predicted to beat Portugal. They're predicted to score more than Portugal and obviously have the higher chance of progression as well. So we're going to keep with Kylian Mbappe. Also, again, gives us a captain option on the Friday night. That means we're now between Mbappe, Musiala, Williams, Gundo, Theo Hernandez and Cucurella realistically as our captaincy options. For me, I think there's 3 players I'm potentially considering here. Kylian Mbappe, obviously it's not yet been his tournament, but this could be the moment that he sparks into life, especially with the data that is going for it. I feel if I want to kind of maintain rank as well, he feels like a pick that a lot of people will be going for on that Friday night as well. With him being quite highly owned, that one could just be more of a kind of cover off anyone else and maybe be a little bit smart. Musiala obviously was absolutely fantastic, but I do feel if things aren't potentially going Germany's way, he could be one of those players that does make way. I don't think Mbappe does. Same goes for probably Nico Williams as well. If their game's not going their way, they've obviously got a lot of quality on that bench. The likes of Oyarzabal, Dani Olmo, Ferran Torres. There's plenty of quality that they very easily could replace Williams with. Whereas Mbappe is a world quality player. And if, you know, Deschamps decides to take him off and France don't go on to win that game, he probably knows his head's absolutely gone. So I think for the expected minutes, I'm very, very hot on Mbappe. But the other players could be very explosive in the limited time that they potentially get on the pitch as well. But for now, I think we're going to lean with Kylian Mbappe for the first day. Moving on to our final striker, it is going to be Cody Gakpo. Very happy we brought him in. Very unfortunate not to have gotten himself a mega haul as well if he'd managed to, you know, obviously stay on side for that second goal in the game. But it is what it is. Again, Netherlands, high chance of progressing. Interestingly as well, Austria created, I think it was around 3 XG against this Turkey side as well. You've looked across the tournament, Portugal put them to the sword. Obviously, Georgia scored against them as well. They're defensively very, very shakeable, to be honest. Obviously, they're going to be missing some key players as well, as quite a few picked up yellow cards last night, meaning they will miss the game as well. So I do feel back in this Netherlands attack could be very beneficial for myself and, of course, my rank. Let me know what you think of my team selection down in the comments. If you've got any questions as well, get them in and we'll try to answer as many as we possibly can. There will be a stream tomorrow night as well with me and Jake going through our teams and kind of answering any of your questions. And of course, I will be live for the deadline as well. But like I said at the start of the video, if you do enjoy any of the content that you see, be sure to like, comment and subscribe.